Whenever I post about fetishization, there's like tons of men in my comments being really defensive and saying like, it's just a compliment. And it's a very nuanced and individual, like I can't just point at someone and say you have a preference and you have a fetish. But here's like how you can really break it down. Like I consider a fetish someone who dehumanizes, treats women as interchangeable, disposable, like any Asian woman works. It doesn't matter who she
is really teaching people that, any Asian woman would do, right? It dehumanizes the person away from being an actual human being to just someone who checks some boxes.
Yeah, it's often like orientalized. So with like, features that signify that they're Asian, or in situations where they're submissive, which is a stereotype, and also an inordinate amount of violence, especially kind of like rape scenarios were really popular for Asian women. And the other thing that was interesting is that like, say the top 10 Pornhub searches had a lot of Asian like you said, Japanese hentai, Asian themed terms that were listed on the top. But when you looked on the top of the Pornhub porn stars, there were no Asians in the top 10. So to me, that signifies that like again, any Asian woman, because there's like not a star. And then another thing that was disturbing was that during this time in the 2000s, when a publication came out with a list of like, I forgot how many, but like say top 20 Asian porn stars. And at that time, you couldn't even name one Asian singer. So you have 20 porn stars. Objectification of women isn't harmless, but we don't realize that it often leads to violence. Same with fetishization, because that's a common thing that men will say is like, it's a compliment, like, stop being so serious. But I've experienced direct violence and many others have, so it's not harmless.
And I think that's something to note, that if, someone is telling you something is causing harm,
Yeah.
perhaps the response should be to listen and affect change rather than to say it's just a joke, or it's just a fetish, or it's just, a compliment. If the person you intended it for is telling you it's not a compliment, then it's good to take another look at that and take a step back and see, especially men, obviously, again, men and women can both be perpetrators, but statistically, men are perpetrators most of the time of sexual violence. Men and women can also be victims of sexual violence, but women are disproportionately victims. And so I think it's important in this conversation to say, women, we can shout from the rooftops the things that we experience, but we also need men to step up and say, hey, maybe we can do better. And, all of us societally can step up and say, maybe we can do better and affect change.